Well, I had planned to read the book Boone by Robert Morgan, published 2007. I thought I'd just do a reading of it on my channel. But I should have figured this out. I did a little research. Not much research was needed to make me realize that this is copyright infringement on the author's work. If I read the entire book online, even if my channel is not monetized, and this channel is not monetized. So I guess I won't be doing that. Still, I recommend that book if you like reading about these kind of things. It really gives you like an image of living in eastern United States during the frontier time. And Boone was kind of like a very interesting character. He's like almost like a hippie of the 1790s, or his period. He's a really, really super laid-back, easygoing kind of guy. And he always swore that he would never take the life of another man, but I think he was compelled to do that in some of his... But he doesn't really say that. But he had an interesting life, definitely not a perfect one. He was in debt a lot. He didn't make good money choices. He was sued by a lot of people. He was a married man, a farmer, and had a family just started, and he went out hunting one day and he was taken prisoner by Indians. And they took him into their tribe, and they actually adopted him because the Indians were losing so much of their population to disease and such that if they thought you were an asset, they would try to adopt you, and either that or you die. So he was adopted into an Indian tribe, and he was gone for 2 or 3 years from his family. They presumed he was dead. They had a farm pretty much out in the middle of nowhere in the woods in the east. And the Indians tried to give Boone a woman for a wife, and he would not take a woman because he was married, but they didn't understand, these vows apparently. So they thought he was gay. This is the only time I've seen what American Indian views on homosexuality were, at least in eastern United States. The braves, or the men of the tribe he was adopted into, presumed he was gay because he would not take a woman when offered one for a wife. And so how did they treat him? They laughed at him. They made jokes about him, gay jokes. And then one day he slipped away and escaped. Went back home to his farm 2 or 3 years later, and his wife had a brand new baby and was living with his brother. You thought that just happened nowadays. No, these kind of things went on. They've always gone on. And there wasn't a quarrel. Boone was reported to have said, well, all's good that stays in the family. And, his brother moved out, and Boone moved back in and took the child as his own. And, and raised that child. And in his life, I will just be a little bit of a spoiler on this book. He lived to be kind of an old, elderly man. And everybody in his family bailed on him. And he was pretty much in debt, though he was renowned, kind of a legend in his time. But he was not doing well financially, and he just wound up alone. But you know who took care of him and stood by his side through his entire life? Was that daughter that was not even his own but his brother's. She stood by him when everybody else failed him. And that's pretty much how the book ends. So it's a really good book. And sorry I won't be doing a reading. But if you've got time and you want to enjoy a book like this, look up Boone, a biography by Robert Morgan, 2007. You can probably get a used copy of it pretty cheap online. All right, that's an update on that project. Take care. I'm at my favorite store. This is where I get my food and my beer anymore. Wegmans. Here we go, shopping.